Hello everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Chris and this will be my breakdown for the DC Slate. So James Gunn has finally reviewed his plan, his roadmap for the upcoming 8 to 10 years for this new DC universe. So, okay, now that I read all the articles and seen all the details from the announcements, let's break them down. Now, uh, this is the part of chapter 1 for the new DC. It's not the entire full chapter, but it's titled Gods and Monster, and already thinking about the animated movie. Now, I do think we got to start off talking about these upcoming 4 movies we have this year and how James Gunn said those connect to our current DC universe. The biggest thing I was wanting with this announcement is some clarity. Is this is a reboot? Is this not a reboot? What's going on? And I'll be honest with you guys, it's still a little messy whether this is a full reboot or a half reboot. And while he doesn't mention about much about Chess and Fury of the Gods, James Gunn does mention that the Flash movie with Ezra Miller is one of the best superhero movies that he's seen, and that's marked as the reset for the DC universe. Probably even more fascinating though when it comes to Blue Beetle, a movie I'm really looking forward to it and don't want it to be kicked out of the DC universe. He said then it's Blue Beetle on August 18th, and that's sort of a since own world, and it fits directly into our DC universe. And but I think it will be connected to the new DC universe, as he say. Now, and that's a confirmation that Blue Beetle isn't getting kicked out of the DC universe. Also, a side note, James Gunn and Peter Safran they addressed the Ezra Miller situation and whether they will be returning as Barry Allen, and they'll be super vague on it. Safran said here Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We are fully supportive of that journey, and they are right now. And when the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have the discussion, we all figure out what is the best way to move forward. But right now, they're completely focused on their recovery. That to me could go either way. Could mean that yeah, we're going to keep them, and we're just not ready to announce that yet, or we're gonna definitely fire Ezra Miller. But if we say that, they'll make people lose interest in the upcoming Flash movie. So for now, that's stay. Now, jumping into the announcements, let's start off with television before we get to the super exciting stuff that made me jump up and down. Now, first thing he announced something called Creatures Commander. It's an animated series written by James Gunn. He does say an animated people will cross over into live action, usually played by the people who voices them. The premise features Frankenstein's monsters teaming up with a werewolf, a vampire, and a gargoyle to fight Nazis in World War II. It doesn't appear that Gunn's versions take the quite same approach. Weezer, one of the characters from Gunn's 2021 film The Suicide Squad, is one of the commanders, along with Rick Flagg's father, Rick Flag Sr. And not too familiar with these characters, but it sounds pretty cool, and fighting Nazis and with Frankenstein's creatures. Oh, that sounds super cool. Now, the next TV series we have is titled Waller. It's a spin-off series from the Peacemaker featuring Viola Davis, Amanda Waller. It's also said to be this show will be taking place between Peacemaker Season 1 and Season 2. No announcements on Season 2 of Peacemaker since James Gunn is very busy with the Superman and planning out the rest of the DC universe. I think this show feels more like a Nick Fury type of thing. We'll get the opportunity to meet different characters in the DC universe that Waller comes into contact with, and I hope it's very political thriller. Now, but this is a really exciting announcement that I was just happy to see that. Now, we're getting a Green Lantern live action series, and it's titled Lanterns. This will be a Green Lantern show focusing on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Also, will mention that James Gunn mentioned that this is a very important show for the future of the DC universe. So this show will have implications to the larger universe, and have been dying to see the Green Lanterns come back to the big screen. I'm fine with HBO because they have been doing some really quality stuff over there, and having a show with Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart together working in a detective fashion in outer space, that is way more exciting than the original Green Lantern show they have planned, where it's going to be set in different decades, touch about some lesser known Green Lanterns. I know that's exciting for some people, but I want Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, man. Those are my Green Lanterns, and I wish it was a movie, but an HBO series is still exciting. Next up, we have Paradise Lost, which will be a prequel series about Wonder Woman in Themyscira. The show will be mainly focusing on the woman of Themyscira before the birth of Diana, aka Wonder Woman. Gunn said specifically how this came about, how this the origin of the island of all women, while the beautiful tools, the ugly tools behind all of that was the scheming like between different powers of playing in that society. To me, this sounds like a really good idea. I just see this as the stepping stone for us getting eventually a new Wonder Woman, because again, James Gunn was not clear on whether this is a full reboot or not. Some articles are claiming that Peter Safran and James Gunn left the door open for previous DCU actors to come back if they wanted to. People like Sasha Levi, Sachan, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman. The door is open if they want to come back. But let's be honest, after a whole season of Paradise Lost and a new Wonder Woman is born, that's basically telling me they're recasting Wonder Woman, and they're just giving them some crunching room, and the prequel will be setting up there. Now, bringing us to the last TV show before we get to the movie announcement, Booster Gold. This is an obscure character I have been dying to see in live action. He's getting his own TV show, and he's one unique character in the comics. They say while he might not be familiar with casual fans of the DC universe, also known as Mark Carter, is a fan favorite amongst devoted readers. And Safran called Booster Gold a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero of the 21st century. Now, Mike is a disgraced former football star. He uses a time machine on display in the Metropolis Space Museum. Honestly, I think this is a great idea for a show. I can already see multiple seasons coming down. And fans of the comics will also know that Booster Gold teams up with an early version of the Blue Beetle, aka Tech Core. And he's rumored to be mentioned or appearing in the Blue Beetle movie. So we can definitely see season 1 of Booster Gold setting up the character in season 2, and maybe teaming up with Tech Core's Blue Beetle, and that will be a whole season of the two of them. So I can already see the connectivity here in this new DC. I'm excited. Now that brings us to the movie announcements, and they talk about Matt Reeves' Batman and the Joker. James Gunn and Peter Safran during the presentation to the press were talking about before the DC was just letting use any characters without any rules or establishment. Now, if characters are mentioned and stuff is teased, that he wants it to be all connected. So when he's talking about the Batman with Matt Reeves and Joker, that all set in the separate universe. Like they want to make a clear distinction to the audience that these are Oswald stories. And they say here that Safran confirmed that such as Earth and Gunn's plans will be labeled clearly as DC Elseworld, just like in the comics. So it looks like Joker 2 and the Batman could have different DC logo appearing in front of the movies, labeled then as Elseworld story, trying to make it clear to the audience this is in the connected universe. And now the Batman is getting a sequel titled The Batman Part 2 with a release date of October 3rd, 2025. I'm still very happy we're getting more Robert Pattinson. Now we get into the feature DC Universe connected movie, and here is the official title of the rebooted Superman movies, titled Superman Legacy. We also have an official release date of July 11, 2025. Kind of a crazy we're getting a Batman Superman movie the same year, while they're not going to be connected at all. But then again, that's how it works before a cinematic universe. James Gunn described this movie as it focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage and his human upbringing in this embodiment of true justice in the American way. He's also worth noting that James Gunn said that this would be the official start of the new DC at the beginning of chapter 1. So I guess everything before, I think it was like a pre-up. Either way, I'm really looking forward to it. And we don't know who will be directing and who will be cast as Superman, but maybe James Gunn will be director. We'll see. Now, next up here, a film that took me by surprise, The Authority. Now, since I don't know much about them, let me just James Gunn give you all the details here.
The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes.
To me, this kind of sounds like Watchmen or The Boys or Invincible. This kind of a rated R great look at superheroes. Not to say this will be a rated R movie, it could be PG-13. It's a passion project for James Gunn, so that's why he made a part of it. But this is kind of a wild card for me because it was something I didn't expect. But I think it could be pretty interesting. Now I hear they could be setting up Superman versus the Authority, similar to the animated movie Superman versus the Elite, but instead the Elite, the Authority. We'll see. Now, but okay, the next announcement, is a big one. So happy that Robin is finally in the DC universe. We got the announcement of a new Batman movie titled Brave and the Bold. So Batman won't be even in the title of this movie. They're going Dark Knight with this one, but James Gunn mentioned that this Batman will be about Batman and his son Damian Wayne coming in contact with each other. Very much inspired by the Grant Morrison run, although there is in that run sometime it was Dick Grayson's Batman, but we haven't got that confirmation yet. This version of Robin is Damian Wayne. Gunn describes him as his favorite Robin, and he's a little son of an assassin and a murderer. Now Damian is Bruce Wayne's biological son, far unknown to him. For the first 8 to 10 years of Damian's life. It's some of a strange father-son story about the two of them. Now, it's not Dick Grayson, but I'm hoping he makes a cameo of some kind, maybe in flashback. Now, but I have so much to say about different Batman movies happening at the exact same time. The Matt Reeves version and now this James Gunn. So that means that Robin will be showing the Matt Reeves movies. He's not doing it, or else James Gunn will be doing a Robin story. Now, James Gunn hinting that this will be the star of the Bat family here. So we're going to get characters like along the way, like Red Hood, Batgirl. So we'll see. Now I think this will be a seasoned Batman, maybe 10 years. Not too old like Ben Affleck's Batman, but a more mature Batman. So I'm really excited for this one. So let's freaking go. Moving on to the next movie, and that really caught me off guard is a Supergirl movie titled Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. When since James Gunn said that this is Kara Zor-El, the cousin of Superman, and it's not going to be Sasha Calle's Supergirl from the upcoming Flash movie. It sucks because she was about to get her own movie. Now that Supergirl movie is going to be given to someone who's yet to be cast. To me, having the inclusion of a Supergirl here feels like they leaning into the Infinite Crisis event, to where eventually they can bring us all the different versions of the DC characters past. That's the only segment with this one. Now I read the comments for this one and they are fantastic. So I hope it stays close to the comments because that story was fantastic. So I'm not pretty sure it would take place like in Earth. So we'll see what the tone and who is behind the camera and who the cast.
Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
And the last feature film in this connected DC universe is Swamp Thing. I love the idea of a Swamp Thing getting his own movie. And it also goes to show you the diversity in Chapter 1. Stuff like this with some lesser known characters to the general public was not possible a few years back. James Gunn will be attending it, and I hope it works for him and for all of us. But him mentioned this will be darker than all the other DC Universe movies. I'm down for that, and I hope it's an origin story because it will be interesting and fun to explore this character. So that's all the announcement from DC for DC. So I'm really rooting for James Gunn. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the new announcement? Of you excited? Of you going to see this movie? What was your favorite announcement? So I hope this pans out. So that's my breakdown. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.